Hi, I'm Amy Cervini.
I'm Hillary Gardner.
And I'm Melissa Stilianu.
And we are Duchess.
When we started singing together, we discovered that humor, collaboration, and yes, imperfection were essential ingredients for our signature style of harmony.
We're setting out to explore what harmony means to creative people from all walks of life, and to learn how they find joy and success in their chosen field.
Along the way, there's sure to be laughter, storytelling, and probably hijinks. That's just who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today with our producer, arranger, the Charlie to our angels.
Svengali.
Just call me Sven.
His real name is Oded Lev-Ari. Did I say that with a good enough accent?
You know, the Hebrew sound is a throaty sound, actually like low down in your throat.
I can't do that.
So you can put it like in the throat, like this, or
I can't do that.
With your tongue in your upper palate, or your tongue in your teeth, which is close to what you did. But you to do the R sound authentically, you need to place it in the back of your throat.
Let me try. Oded Lev-Ari.
Yeah, it's close.
hard.
Did you notice that you did a?
Yes.
That's the same place, only a little higher in your throat.
Okay, all right.
Exactly, it's the same
This
place.
is gross. Everyone who's just tuning in, sorry.
It's
That's
not
why,
usually like this.
Everyone in Israel has a clear throat because they do this. No, the truth is that modern Hebrew speakers don't place these sounds here anymore. They place it like midway,
Like the
between,
French.
Oh, I don't
or
know.
the German
I don't know
Rs?
what happens. It turns out to be like. What do you call the thing that
Uvula?
The uvula, yeah. It turns out to be like a little forward from that. That most people do it. That can you hear the difference?
Oh, totally.
It's really grossing me out.
Really? I'm fascinated.
No tongue.
No tongue.
Which is already a problem.
I think that's what this
Already violating
podcast
my
episode is
main
about.
principles. No tongue.
I'm going to edit all this. Hebrew pronunciation 101. It's actually this is probably 201.
It's advanced.
And that's the point. We need to go back. So maybe we should go back. Let's step it back a little bit.
I feel like the
ladies
Israeli
and gentlemen.
breakfast alone is reason enough to like book a ticket.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
the finest breakfast. It's just an endless buffet of carbs and all kinds of feta cheese and vegetables and eggs. It's so good.
Let's go
So
back there.
good. Let's. When can we do it?
I don't know.
I know we just passed our anniversary in December.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So we're due
Yep.
for a return.
Bring us back, Avishai. Mr. Oded Lev-Ari. Oh, I don't know where that was, but
That's
it was
fine.
somewhere in my throat.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Just call me Corleone. It's fine.
We are here to talk about the genius that is your arrangement of Going Home.
Oh, I thank you.
Yes.
It's very kind of you. What do you think makes it so spectacular?
You know what? I think the simplicity makes it so spectacular, if I may. And the fact that I have the melody a lot. I like that too.
So this is a bonus track. So if you have our record Laughing at Life, you may not have heard this. It is only available on the vinyl. But I think maybe we're going to let people listen to it. Here it is, Going Home.
It's not far, just close by, through an open door. Work all done, care laid by, going to fear no more.
What'd you think, guys?
I'm your guest. You need to ask me a question.
Yes.
Well, I have a
didn't come here
question.
to work. I mean,
Good point.
So that song, Going Home, was not a composition of yours. That comes from Dvorak. Is that correct?
yes, it's the slow movement of the New World Symphony. I think it's actually the title is From the New World.
Yes.
Yes, it's originally an English horn solo, famous. It goes something like this.
Beautiful.
That's what I was going after.
It's the English horn is even more gentle than the oboe. It's very kind of gentle and mellow. It has this beautiful. Maybe we should play a little bit of that, of the
I think
original.
we should, because your
Yeah.
impression made me think of bagpipes, which gets me
know.
really nervous.
Yes. So it starts with this, kind of lush, sophisticated harmonies. You're not sure where it is, and then from the clouds emerges the English horn, and plays that melody. And then I forget who. I believe it was a student of Dvorak that studied with him here. So Dvorak came. He was a conductor too. He came to the United States to conduct, etc. He spent some time here, and then he wrote the symphony.
When approximately?
It was 19th century. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly when. I think it was mid to late 19th century. And and one of his students, I believe, wrote this set of lyrics to it. We're performing. I think included the first and the last verse. There are a lot of verses.
Oh, wow.
And it's treated a little like I think a lot of people, if they hear this melody, they assume it's a spiritual, but it's not.
And the
It's-
lyric as well. I
Right.
think it definitely carries those connotations.
Exactly. It's thematically, it's somewhat consistent with spirituals, also melodically. But if I remember correctly, when I was working on this piece, on this arrangement, I saw that there's research that traces this melody to, Dvorak's home in Europe rather than
Oh, wow.
the New World. So, and it's really interesting to consider. In a lot of cases, there were Western composers that made up a style for a specific location just because it sounded like that's what people there should sing or listen to or play. It wasn't the music of the actual place. So in Israel, it also happened where, German composers came to then Palestine in the Middle East and decided that, the local music is mostly based on the Dorian mode. It had nothing to do with the Dorian mode. In fact, anyway, it was completely disconnected from the actual music that happened in this actual place, but it was the European view of what Middle Eastern music maybe should sound like.
Typical.
Yeah. So
Colonizers, all of us.
no, exactly. So it's interesting how it kind of travels. It's all at this point kind of a big mush. But yeah, that's the kind of the history of that particular melody. A lot of people assume that Dvorak kind of went like a ethnomusicologist, kind of went around and collected folk songs of no, it didn't really happen that way.
Blowing the lid off Dvorak mythology, folks. This is the kind of premium content that you subscribe for.
Yeah, I don't think he made any. I really need to kind of look at this, and maybe I'll cut all this if it's not true. But my recollection is that no one really made any claims that this is. I mean, the symphony is called From the New World,
right?
But no one's gonna say, this doesn't sound like the Appalachian music that is so common. And From the New World is from Dvorak's imagination of what the New World could be. Not necessarily actually. He's not actually bringing music from the New World.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah.
And why did you choose it for us?
I really like this tune. I love the New World Symphony. I think it's from the New World Symphony. I think it's great. And I like this tune a lot. And I wanted to try something a little different, something that will be, that we don't do really. And this is quite honestly the first thing that came to my mind. I think I mentioned it in some meeting and I got no response, which I promptly interpreted as an enthusiastic yes. And I did a setting.
That's the consent that only works in music, folks.
I did a fairly quick setting. Quick, I mean, I kind of turned it around quickly of something musically that we don't do. The style that you guys sing in is referred to as close harmony, which means that basically you mostly are within the octave. It's kind of the classic. You kind of don't want to create any
rubbing up against each other.
Exactly. No, I don't want to go to
harmonically speaking,
imagery that our listeners might not appreciate. But yeah, you're stacked. Or basically, it's like a triad that moves around. I do little things that are a little different here and there, but mostly are within an octave. And the first setting I did of this, you were in an open position. Basically, you were more than an octave apart, which had its own charm. But we decided it might be too different, especially because you guys, like, if you guys sing in a set, you all sing in a certain place, and then all of a sudden you need to use your voice in a different way. It's hard. It's challenging. So I don't like things that are challenging at all. So
not true.
So
folks.
then I did another setting that was more within the octave, and that's what ended up. That's the version that ended up on the recording.
And we did this. This was the very last thing that we did in the studio.
Oh, that's true.
And we did it with Oded playing piano.
That's
I play
right.
piano. That's right. It's true.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really like this track. I really playing piano for this too. I really liked that you guys are just a unit that you will sing together really well no matter what happens behind you, which gave me a little bit of freedom to try different things in my accompaniment too. It's very different than everything else I did for you guys. And one of the things is that I kind of wrote it so it can function as an a cappella piece unaccompanied, which is it's completely different kind of, I don't know, process or craft. And I think you guys sing it beautifully.
I have to tell you that when we did sing it a cappella at your gig at your gig at Greenwich House, that's the name of the venue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oded has a marvelous group and album called it's the Oded Lev-Ari, fill in the blank, the name of the group, or
I don't really
Oh.
label them.
Ooh, so I can come up with a label.
The Oded Lev-Ari Travelers.
I like that. And an album called Threading. He performed that music and asked us to be in the audience and be there and then come up from the audience and sing Going Home with nothing behind us and no.
Wasn't Oded playing behind us? I think he was playing.
Oh.
But it was because
It was very-
I
It was
felt
not mic'd, right?
It wasn't
It's not
mic'd,
mic'd.
and we were also like walking while we
Oh my
sang,
God, I was
which
so
made
terrified. I remember
which made
that.
it
Yes.
scary.
It was
It was really
scary.
exposed,
Yeah.
but so is the piece.
Yeah,
That's
right.
it. it's doing its job.
Yeah.
It was
That
a
was
very,
fun.
very nice moment.
There's video of that somewhere. We
There
should
is
find that.
somewhere on my hard drive. There is a video in it. This setting uses greatly simplified harmonies and that kind of stuff than the original. The original is very is more complex in terms of harmony. And I simplified it to make it sound, more folky, I guess, or simple.
Well, it's beautiful. I like it. We should do it more live. It's
Yeah.
hard though. It's hard to find,
It
frankly,
needs the
a
right
venue
moment. Yeah.
to-
Well, I will say, I don't know if we're closing or if this might just be an addendum, but it's not too late to get a vinyl copy of Laughing at Life, and that record has Going Home on it. So I'm just throwing it out there, anzicrecords.com.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Harmony and Hijinks. You can buy Laughing at Life wherever music is sold and through our website, duchesstrio.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Duchess Trio. And please subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcatcher. See you next time on Harmony and Hijinks.